There you go. Hello, good morning everybody. My name is Gonçalo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of SyndicateRoom. SyndicateRoom is a crowdfunding platform, and it's the only platform with an investor-led model. That means that we allow the crowd to invest alongside professional investors, be it in business angels, family offices, venture capitalists. And that's really what we do as a business, and that's what we pioneered. And this is why. This is one of our strong beliefs in here. And here at this event is really easy to explain this. Quality is really what matters when it comes to investment, not quantity. And that's really what we stand for as a company. And this is why we started SyndicateRoom. My co-founder and I started SyndicateRoom because I was working a lot with business angels and venture capitalists. And I could see these really exciting early stage companies, private companies that these guys were investing into. And I could see these incredibly inspiring entrepreneurs that were running those businesses. And then I could also see crowdfunding starting to take off. Now, the issue with crowdfunding is that it's the investor-led model versus the company-led model. So on the other platforms have what is called a company-led model, whereby the company sets the investment terms, the valuation of the business, the investor protections, and so on, which naturally they will set it up in the company's favor, and obviously that won't be in the investor's favor. Whereas what I could see with business angels was that negotiation that I'm sure most of you will have seen at Dragon's Den, negotiating the valuation of the business and the type of shares. And that's really what I could see, and that's why I started SyndicateRoom. SyndicateRoom allows the crowd to invest where these professionals are investing their own money in. So we are at the top, this is SyndicateRoom, it's the investor-led model, and at the bottom is the normal crowdfunding as company-led. And this is really what SyndicateRoom does, is to allow the crowd to invest with the professionals, right? Or if I were to put it in another way, why would you invest where the professionals are not investing their money in, right? That's where you want to be. Professionals include people like these, Herman Hauser, very well-known private investor, founder of Arm, very successful business angel. Jonathan Milner, also a very successful business angel, very well-known. These are examples of lead investors that put deals on our platform for people like you and I then to invest alongside them. Because our whole vision is that it doesn't really matter if you're an individual investing, say, £1,000, or a large family office investing several million pounds. You should all make or lose the same amount of money on a pound per pound invested. We've also, by the way, had Jim Mellon, which I'm sure you will know, from Master Investor, as one of the lead investors in one of our deals. So it's all about allowing the crowd to invest with these incredibly experienced investors. These are the type of sectors that we have funded in the past few years. So you can see a lot in life sciences, you can see a lot in engineering, B2B. They're mostly sectors that have some intellectual property behind them that allow them to protect their position against their competitors, which is incredibly important in this type of investment. We are now bringing a whole new design in terms of fund. So if you are uncomfortable in selecting your own private companies to invest in and use your own EIS, you can still use your EIS, Enterprise Investment Scheme Allowance, which is a really nice tax break for UK tax earners. And you can put the money into a fund that will distribute that allocation into EIS companies. Now, this is, I'm telling you that investor-led is how it works, but what does this mean in practical terms? What is the end result? And now we're starting to see some really interesting data. So 80% of the funding rounds that ever get listed on SyndicateRoom end up getting fully funded. That compares to less than half that in the industry. But much more interesting is that for investors, out of over 70 companies that got funded, only one so far has failed, and 2 of them have stopped trading, which is less than 3% of the companies. In early stage finance, where basically you should be building a portfolio, and some companies will fail, some will succeed. This is a very, very low percentage in terms of failure. So we're really proud of this of this data. We've also earned several different awards as best investment platform, and we're growing incredibly fast. We're 5 times the size that we were this time last year. And this is why I think that this investor-led model is the future of crowdfunding. This is really where crowdfunding is going. And it's not only in the UK. This is a graph that compares what's happening in the US. This is what is happening in the UK. We are the red line, and you can see how fast we're growing compared to the market. And the reason for that is that we are now, with this investor-led model, we're able to attract very sophisticated investors that want to invest part of their portfolio into private companies. So it's a longer-term, more illiquid type of investment with phenomenal tax reliefs for those eligible investors. And we give that peace of mind that they are investing where the professionals are also risking their own money. This is the EIS, for those that don't know, very quickly. It has a very significant income tax reliefs, no capital gains tax. It has to comply by certain rules, like you need to hold the shares for 3 years and so on. But it's well worth you dwelling into it and really finding out more about it. Very proudly, we recently have been approved by the FCA and we became a member of the London Stock Exchange, which means that now we give our members access to placings that are exclusive to us. So we are the sole distribution platform to some placings on AIM or on the main market, where retail investors now can invest alongside large institutional investors. So exactly the same model as we have for the private companies, we're applying exactly the same thing on the public markets, which I'm sure a lot of you will be a lot more comfortable with. And we've already done one recently, 3 weeks ago. We did Scancell, where they did a placing, and we are the sole distribution platform for Scancell placing. This means that for SyndicateRoom members, and by the way, all you need, it's completely free for investors, all you need is go on the website and sign up, but we are the only platform in the world that allows you to invest in very early stage companies, like idea stage, early growth, late stage growth, and now IPOs and placings. So you can have, as an investor, you can have access to this myriad of investment opportunities throughout all the entire equity journey, which naturally will have a different risk-return profile, and you can pick the ones that you're the most comfortable with. Finally, we're organizing the crowdfunding event on the 9th of May, where we're calling it the equity divide, where we did a research, we did a survey of investors and to see how many people from the general public actually wanted to invest into IPOs versus how many people could actually knew how to invest into IPOs. And you'll be amazed about the results of the survey. They're really, really interesting. We are going to have the CEO of the London Stock Exchange talking at our event. I'll be there talking at the event, and we're going to have a very large private investor talking at the event. So if you can come along, just go on our website and sign up. Again, it's for free, and it should provide a very good night of entertainment. And that's all, and I'm happy to take questions if I have any time. The question was, how long have we been established for? We've been established, so we launched summer 2013, and since then we've been growing very, very, very fast. So we have funded over £50 million into early stage companies, which is a lot more than most early stage VCs invest in 10 years. So we are more than doubling every year, basically.
What proportion of the companies fundraising are EIS registered with the revenue, within revenue?
The vast majority are EIS. So we've had some SCIS, which the tax reliefs are even better, but they only apply for very, very early stage. So we're very careful with those. So we had a handful of SCIS. Then we had one which was not EIS, and then all the others were EIS. So we're talking about nearly 70 EIS fundraisers. About 96% of them. That's all right. Thank you very much, everyone.